pinch punch, first day of the month, and the world is not falling apart around us, regardless of what the media and your television tell a vision and the TV programming us to feel scared, anxious, worried, fearful, nervous, out of control. That's all that we see on the news. That's all we see on the TV, to get you and everybody worried in a constant state of fear. But that's not your reality, as much as they try and make it out to be. That's not your world. Sure, there's things going on out in the world, but none of it's your fault, even though they try and make you think that it's your fault. Like this world, this 3D world that we live in, a 3D world of like duality, where everything has an opposite: up, down, left, right, fast, slow, forwards, backwards, fat, thin, hot, cold, love, hate, God, devil. In the Matrix it was depicted as Neo and Agent Smith, yin and yang. So everything's got an opposite, and how we see the world is how we is our perception of it, and how we think and how we feel. So if we're constantly bombarded with bad weather, bad news, that's how we're going to feel. We're going to feel anxious and agitated and worried and fearful, and that's how they want everybody. But our lives, like your world, my world, our world, isn't that big. Our reality isn't that big, because we're so glued to social media and the television and TV series and all of the stuff that we see on the screens. We think the world is huge, and we get so bombarded, and FOMO, got to be there, got to be seeing that, got to be doing that. Like here's a thought exercise, you know. You haven't got to do it, but if you was to remove your phone, your iPad, your TVs, any device for the whole of the weekend and not going to work, what would you be doing? You know, unless you're going on a holiday, you'd just be, you know, doing a bit of shopping, going to see a friend or family, maybe cinema, pub, you know, whatever. But all of a sudden, everything that you see on your screen disappears. So the big world around you is all of a sudden diminished down to this tiny little reality of what you're living in. And that's easy to manage. You can deal with that. But the more you focus on what's going on, and wars around the world and storms around the world and this country and that country at war and crisis after crisis after crisis, you're going to feel worried all the time. But it's not your fault, and that's not your reality. So stop worrying about it, okay? There's a lot of evil in the world, but there's also a lot of good. There's so much good in the world. There's so many good people. You just got to tap into that. You know, what do you tell yourself? How do you think? What you think about is how you're going to live your life, how you're going to live your reality. So start monitoring this, okay? Don't just let it run away with you. That's not the authentic you. This thing will just keep thinking all the time, unless you like stop thinking. That's what like power meditation does. Stops you thinking. Okay, so don't worry about things that are out of your control. Focus on you and what you can control. That's Stoicism 101, okay? You know, you can't control external events. You can't control what other people say or do. You can only control how you react to them. So I hope this helps you. God bless you, and have a lovely weekend.